Aryna Sabalenka on Badosa's struggle. I tried to give her the best advice I could. Paula Badosa returns to action in Brisbane after an injury-plagued 2025, backed by close friend Aryna Sabalenka, who is confident the Spaniard will regain her best form as they team up in doubles. The Brisbane tournament will mark Paula Badosa's return to competitive action. The Spaniard is back after a disastrous 2025, a season in which injuries severely limited her time on court, something she has tried to handle in the best way possible. Speaking on Saturday, her closest friend on tour, Aryna Sabalenka, opened up about how difficult it was for her to see Badosa go through that ordeal. I tried to give her the best advice I could, and I've always been there for her. If she wanted to talk, I was there. If she needed anything, I was there. I know she's going to get her level back, Sabalenka said during her press conference ahead of the tournament. It was also really tough for me to watch her suffer, and I've always supported her. I even gave her the contact of a great physiotherapist. I've backed her a lot, and I truly hope she can return to her best level. I just want to make sure her body is protected, strong, and ready for what's ahead, added the world number one, who will team up with the Spaniard in the doubles draw. Badosa is back, so it's going to be a lot of fun out on the court, Sabalenka concluded. Badosa and Sabalenka will make their doubles debut late Saturday night into early Sunday against the team of Russia's Lyudmila Samsonova and China's Shuai Zhang. The tennis court is a rectangle of lines and rules, but what lives inside it is rarely so tidy. There are days when the ball listens and days when it refuses, days when the body feels like a loyal friend and days when it becomes a stranger. In the middle of all this, friendships form in quiet corners, on practice courts at dusk, in locker rooms humming with dryers, in late-night messages sent across time zones. Aryna Sabalenka's words about Paula Badosa's struggle carry that quiet weight, not a press conference platitude, but the language of someone who knows how thin the line is between strength and fragility. I tried to give her the best advice I could. The sentence is simple. Its power lies in what it doesn't say. Sabalenka, known for her thunderous ground strokes and fierce competitive aura, is often framed as a force of nature, unapologetic power, unapologetic presence. Badosa, too, has built a reputation on intensity and grit, her tennis forged in discipline and resolve. On paper, they are rivals in the purest sense, two elite athletes fighting for inches and moments. But tennis, especially at the highest level, teaches you that rivalry doesn't cancel empathy, it sharpens it. When one player stumbles, the others recognize the sound of the fall. Struggle in tennis is rarely just about losses. It is about the accumulation of small disappointments that echo louder than any single defeat. A lingering injury. A confidence leak that no physio can tape. The sense that your body remembers pain even when your mind insists on belief. When Badosa faced her own difficult stretch, it wasn't simply a chapter of poor results. It was a human season of uncertainty. Sabalenka's response didn't come from a playbook. It came from recognition. Advice, in moments like these, isn't a lecture. It's an offering. Sabalenka has lived inside pressure long enough to understand its dialects. She has known the noise of expectation, the way the world starts speaking in numbers, rankings, titles, streaks, until it drowns out the quieter voice that first told you to pick up a racket. When she says she tried to give the best advice she could, it suggests restraint as much as wisdom. The best advice is rarely about tactics or technique. It's about permission. Permission to feel lost without labeling yourself broken, permission to rest without guilt, permission to believe that the path forward doesn't always look like a straight line. In elite sport, vulnerability is often treated as a weakness to be hidden. Yet the strongest competitors know that acknowledging struggle can be an act of courage. Sabalenka's openness toward Badosa reframes strength not as invincibility, but as honesty paired with resilience. It says, you can be fierce and still need help. You can be a champion and still be human. There is also something quietly radical about athletes advising each other across the net. Tennis is solitary by design. There are no timeouts for huddles. No substitutions when doubt creeps in. You walk onto the court alone, and you leave it alone. That solitude can be clarifying, but it can also be isolating. When one player reaches out to another, it punctures the myth that success is a solo project. It acknowledges the invisible network of conversations, shared glances, and mutual understanding that sustains players through the long season. Sabalenka's advice, whatever its specifics, likely carried the cadence of lived experience. Perhaps it sounded like, "Focus on what you can control today." Or, "Remember why you started." Or simply, "You're not alone in this." The most powerful guidance often doesn't solve the problem, it steadies the person facing it. For Badosa, receiving advice from a peer, someone who understands the stakes not in theory but in muscle memory, may have offered a different kind of comfort. Coaches and support teams are essential, but there is a particular clarity that comes from someone who stands where you stand. Someone who knows the sound of a stadium when momentum turns, the silence of a locker room after a match you thought you should win, the quiet bravery required to show up again the next day. Sabalenka's words also reflect a broader shift in how athletes talk about mental and emotional health. The old script demanded stoicism at all costs. The new one, still being written, allows space for compassion without compromising competitiveness. It suggests that caring about your rival doesn't make you less hungry to win, it makes you more complete. In this light, the best advice is not a cure but a companion. It walks alongside struggle rather than trying to outrun it. It says that progress can be patient, that setbacks don't erase talent, that identity is bigger than a bad stretch of results. It reminds an athlete that their worth isn't up for negotiation every time the scoreboard tilts against them. There's a mirror here too. In helping Badosa, Sabalenka may have been speaking to parts of herself, past or future moments when the court feels heavier than usual. Advice, once given, often echoes back to the giver. It reinforces lessons learned the hard way and keeps them close for the next storm. What makes this exchange resonate is its ordinariness. There is no grand speech, no dramatic intervention. Just one player acknowledging another's pain and offering what she has, perspective earned, empathy practiced, presence given. In a sport obsessed with highlights, this is a low-volume moment, but it's the kind that sustains careers and, more importantly, people.